Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry, we're going to be having this series uh, late for some days. My schedule is changing and some things are coming up that I have to attend to, but I apologize for the delay. For some days, things are going to be better. I'm going to do it at 1 o'clock our time here, and 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock Europe and West African time. For some other days, things are going to be a bit unpredictable. A very serious issue that I'm touching this evening, a very, very sensitive and serious issue. Sex for grades among students of higher institution. This is a monster. This is a demon. This is something that is tearing apart the fabric of academic excellence across African societies, from Nigeria to Ghana to Ivory Coast to Cameroon to South Africa, all across Africa. This demon is on the throne. So many lecturers and teachers in higher institutions, in colleges, universities, not all of them, but so many of them are taking advantage of students, particularly female students, and ruining their life and their future because they have the authority to determine grades. And so students are asked to sleep with lecturers, sleep with teachers in exchange for grades. The incidence is crippling the academic future of so many countries in Africa. This kind of rubbish and nonsense, even though they happen very infrequently in the Western world, if they catch you that you are a lecturer and you have slept with a student for grade, you are finished. You are finished. You don't have to do it. Ordinary handshake with a lady, even when she doesn't want it, she can report it to the police that you shook her hand without her consent, and you'll be in big trouble. That is the reason why many young African boys and girls or middle-aged African ladies and men find it very hard sometimes to compete with their mates abroad because of this satanic vice. I don't want to give so many people blames here. I put all the blames on the leaders in our colleges and universities. Who are the leaders? The lecturers. There have been so many cases where students actually were responsible for molesting, so to say, the lecturers. But the cases are very few. I will give it 60 to 40. I will give 60% of the blame to the lecturers and 40% to the students. And I'm going to give you some consequences of this kind of menace to our society. This is December 14th, 17 days to the end of the year. If you're a lecturer or a teacher and you're listening to me, or you have a friend or an uncle who is a lecturer and a teacher, and you know that he is engaged in this illicit affair, it is a very dangerous thing. The consequences cannot be quantified. You can be the king now in the school now, determining the grades of the students. You don't know tomorrow. Your own daughter will gain admission to a school and someone else will molest and ruin her whole life. The laws of sowing and reaping work like fire. I will tell you a couple of stories that I want to use to inspire you this evening. Sex for grade must be stopped in African institutions of higher learning. Who are the people that will stop it? Two categories of people will stop it. The people that have authority, the vice chancellors, the school principals, they must stop it. Who are the second category of people to stop it? The lecturers, the people that are engaged with students, the people who award marks, the people who grade exams, the people who set exams, the people who lectures, who teach, the people who teach, the people who lecture. They are responsible for stopping this. And the last category of people who will stop this thing are the students. Now, when a lady, I'm going to be using ladies as an example now because ladies are more prone to sex for grades than men. Maybe 95% to 5%. Hardly will you find a male lecturer run after a male student, except that man has run out of his mind. It is always a male lecturer running after a female student. Let me tell you something. Sex for grade is the worst example of academic decadence in any society. The reason why African universities will not compete with Harvard, Oxford, Princeton, Yale, Cambridge is because of some of these issues I mentioned this evening. You can never find this kind of madness in Oxford University. Those that are doing it are taking a risk. The day they catch you, you go to jail forever. They don't spare them. How many times have they jailed an African lecturer for sleeping with a girl? How many times have you heard it in the news that a lecturer in Ghana or in Nigeria was sent to jail? It does not happen. They do it and get away with it. That is what is killing the future of our children. And until something is done about it by those who have authority, nothing will happen. Nigerian universities, Ghanaian university, Malawi university, Chadian university, they can never compete with Harvard, Oxford, Yale, Princeton. Mention the university. How many universities in Africa have been placed in the first 100, first 200 in the whole world? Few of them are in the first 500. Universities in South Africa and some in Egypt, and very few in other countries. But when you are talking about the big fish, the Oxford, the Yale, and dozens of universities in the UK and in Australia, in Canada, you can't find Nigerian universities, Ghanaian university, and Ivorian university, Togolese university. You cannot find them there because some of these issues I'm mentioning, they are abhorrent. They are things that the people abroad in the Western world, they don't want to hear. It is irritating that a man will decide to give a lady 50% or 45% or 60% in exchange for an illicit affair. It's horrendous. It tears down the fabric of a society. If you are looking for an example of academic decadence can occur due to so many things, so many factors: poor funding of universities, lack of infrastructure, and some other factors. Another key factor is sex for grade. A lot of our students, a lot of our friends that are females, our lady, our girls, some are young, some are old, some are listening to me, some are family members who have experienced this menace. Some of them have been molested by lecturers. Many of them kept it secret because it is not a noble adventure. You don't want to tell your friends in the public on Facebook that I got 70% in this course because this man slept with me. When you say that, you lose respect, you lose dignity, you lose honor, and your certificate and your credentials have no value again. So many people that engage in this thing, they keep it to themselves. But so many ladies in African universities engage in this illicit affair. Some of them do so out of pressure. Some do so out of duress. They do not have any option. They are at the verge of losing out in the university. Their mates are graduating, and this man is running after you. You got to sleep with me, otherwise he won't graduate. And you can't even dare to report him. When you report him to the school authority, they will victimize you eventually. That is what I'm saying, that this nonsense can never happen in Oxford University or in Cambridge. You can't ordinarily hugging a woman without her consent is crime in the Western world. You can't even try it. In fact, let's take away body contact. Ordinary comments. Oh, you look beautiful. You can go to jail for it. I have got someone who nearly lost his job 3 weeks ago because he was just verbally complimenting a girl in a British place of work. He just complimented, you have a very beautiful voice. That was what he said. You have a very beautiful voice. And the lady went to report and they set up a panel. And they gave that man last warning. The day you compliment her voice, you are gone. And the man kept to his own place. Say, I won't compliment your voice again. I won't. As in, that is how sound their value systems are. That is how sound their value systems are. The lowest level of academic decadence in their society is expressed via sex for grade. When lecturers descend so low, when they drop so low, when they crash so low, to the extent of either covertly or actively asking students. You know, some lecturers do it covertly. They don't do it publicly. They call the students to their offices, or they begin to molest and oppress the students in the class. They will deliberately shout her down. Other students are given opportunity to talk. When it gets to her turn, they shout her down. And the lady will get to a level of frustration. You go and meet that man in the office, and the man will start throwing advances at her. A covert operation. And the two of them, they will make an arrangement. Let's meet in this hotel, and the girl's life is ruined. But he won't come back and tell her friends. There are those that do it actively. The students know that they are doing it. They don't hide it. Whether you do it actively or you do it covertly, you are contributing to the decadence of the academic system of a nation. There is a reward for every act. You may not get the reward now, you will get it in future. You will get it in future. It's not a cause. Every action always generates corresponding reaction. In fact, it's a law of physics. It's a law in physics. Action and reaction. If I slam my hand on this desk that I have now, my hand has not just beaten the desk. The desk has beaten my hand. Because as I'm slamming my hand on the desk, there is a force from the desk that is bouncing back into my hand. So everything on earth is controlled by the laws of sowing and reaping. You will definitely reap the results. There used to be a man more than 30 years ago in a particular African institution. The man was close to my dad. They lectured together in a particular institution because my dad was an academic person too. So from the 1970s to the early 80s, 83, 84, they were lecturing together in that university. My dad is 80 years old now. He has retired. He's an old man now. We are praying that God will give him long life and he will live up to 100. And I'm his fourth son. This man I'm talking about made a career out of sleeping with every woman that he's lecturing. It became so notorious that women they were no longer hiding it. They were talking about him every corner. And in those days, cultism had not grown, had not become an issue in that African country. So students couldn't take revenge. If it were to be nowadays, they would have just killed him straight. So this man was molesting students. He was awarding failed marks to other students that didn't cooperate with him. And one day, maybe the number 50 girl or number 100 girl, we all lost count. He invited the lady to an hotel and blah, blah, blah. He did what he would do. And the man fell sick from that day. Some of these ladies are not even human beings. You don't even know. The man fell sick from that day. They began to take him from one hospital to another hospital. He was paralyzed. He could not walk. They had to suspend him from his position and put somebody else there. Few months down the line, after all had been done, the man died. The man died. The family began to cry. The children were crying. But nobody could cry out because the man had destroyed the lives of so many girls. Later on, they began to tell us that, oh, the last girl he slept with was an agent who did something to him. That is always, whether it's a physical attack or spiritual attack, one consequence is always waiting for people who take advantage of young, innocent girls. Even if the girls are not innocent, even if they want to do it, you are the leader. These girls have been sent into the campus for you as a lecturer to shape their life. Even if they want to do it, you should shape them and tell them this is wrong. I have lectured students. I lectured in 2 British institutions before in the past. I lectured bachelor's degree students. I lectured postgraduate students. And I had all kind of girls in the class. They will be throwing advances at me. Of course, I've been a minister, a pastor over the years, so that helped me. And they'll be throwing advances at me. They will come and meet you privately. Please, sir, can you teach me this? I know some girls can be overbearing, they do it, but as the leader, you point them to the right direction. And in not one of those occasions did I fall to any of those girls. I give glory to God. They will come and meet you in the class, meet you in the office, and I will tell them, go out. I will rather give you mark free than sleeping with you. I will rather give you mark free. And I tell them, the worst that will happen, I'm the one that I set the exam. I will mark the exam. I prefer to give you extra mark free of charge. And there's not one single woman in any part of the world that can point at me and say, this man defied me. I make my boast in Christ to the glory of God. So we are the leader. If you are a leader, you don't say because the lady has been tempting you, you fall. That is foolishness. If that lady were to be your daughter and somebody else is telling you your daughter tempted him and he fell, how would you feel? The lives of thousands and tens of thousands of girls have been destroyed because of sex for grade. African parents also have a role to play. Many of our parents in Africa, once they send students to school, they don't know what they're doing in the school. Many of them don't even bother. In fact, many of them are the ones encouraging them to do it. Many of them are the ones encouraging them to do it. When some girls get back home and tell their parents, there's this lecturer, if I don't sleep with him, he's going to fail me, the parents will tell her, go and do it. Because some of the parents have no value system. Some parents have no value system. Some parents can go to the extent of buying results, or engaging people to write exams for their children. So this thing is a very strong monster. So when you look at a nation, and you say this nation is a successful nation, there are so many factors that are responsible for it. When you look at a nation, say this nation is a failed state. When they call a nation a developing nation, they don't just come up with a word, a fanciful word to degrade the nation. There are so many factors that go into it. Value system, the judiciary system, or religious tolerance. They look at so many things before they brand a country a failed state or a developing state. Some of the things that we are crying about and praying about in our countries, in Ghana, in Nigeria, oh, lift our country up, let our country prosper. Those prayers cannot be answered by God. From the day that Africans have been praying about their country, what has been the result? I'm a scientific person, I'm an academic person, I'm a researcher. So we are trained to look at scientific evidence before we draw conclusion. You cannot just say something will happen because you prayed about it. It is not everything you pray about that God is obliged to answer. The Bible says you ask and you receive not because you ask amiss. So when you are praying wrong prayer, that you have fasted for 1 million years to back up that prayer, doesn't mean God is going to answer your prayer. So you can't be praying that a nation should prosper where lecturers are sleeping with the girls, where students that form the fabric of society of tomorrow are the ones defiling themselves on campus. It's a serious issue. Sex is a sacrifice on its own. Sex is a covenant. All the people that have been involved with sexual morality, they will tell you there is nothing called enjoyment. 15 minutes of pleasure, 50 years of disaster. I have met people who are swimming in sexual immorality. And when you ask them, they will tell you there is nothing there. Satan is a wicked Satan. And he always have a way of deceiving ignorant people. Look at that girl. Look at after 15, 20 minutes, your eyes will clear. And that 20 minutes can cost you 20 years. That 20 minutes can cost you 20 years. I know a man who was engaged in this thing I'm saying. Anybody he sleeps with. If you see students like this, sleep with them. He had been doing it for years. I have never met a man in my life. If you have met one, let me know. Who continues in sexual immorality. Now, I'm not saying somebody who made a mistake once or twice or whatever and repent and stops. There are some people that they have made a career out of sexual morality. I haven't met one that did not regret it. I haven't met one that ended well. Something about their life, either their finances will crash, either they contract a disease, or their marriage scatters, or they have something. I mean, people who do it regularly and they continue to do it. One day is always one day. This man was the MD of a company. He was very rich, so he used his money as a bait for girls. So anybody he sees in skirt, he must sleep with that person. Everybody knew him that this man was notorious. He had been doing it for years. For years. One day he booked an appointment with another girl. He put money in his car trunk. We call it boot in Africa. He put money there. And he locked the car trunk. He called his driver to take him to that hotel. He was at the back. And as they were going to the same hotel he had gone to several times, the driver missed his way and began to lose concentration, and they had a fatal accident. The man did not die, but the man was in a state of coma. The driver came out of the car, tried to revive the boss. The boss didn't come back. The man opened the boot of the car, removed all the money, and ran away. The girl was still waiting for the man in the hotel. By the time they came to pick up the man, they took him to the hospital. They discovered that the man had become paralyzed. After 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, that the company that he was working with, he was an executive in the company. They had been spending money. They said, please, we cannot keep you here. We need to replace somebody with you in your role. And they sacked him from that job. The next time I saw this man, I saw him on a wheelchair. After more than 15 to 20 years of sexual adventure. Enjoying sexual adventure at the detriment of his destiny. That is the sad story of so many people that always see sin as fun. It is a fun. It is not fun. The day the repercussion will come, you will know that it's not fun. And this thing has penetrated every corner of our society in Africa. If you have been given the privilege to nurture and mentor young people as a man, women are more prone to this vice. Women are more prone. So women are mostly the victims. Of course, there are a few cases where men are victims, but in my own estimation, I will make it 95% to 5%. 95% of the cases are involving women. So the men will take advantage. There have been many cases when a man has been asked to tutor a girl. A girl needs tutoring, and the man will take advantage and impregnate the girl. Everybody that has been involved in this thing will have one story to tell. But I'm not even going into the society now where the big monster is residing. Let's start from the environment where the future of young people is designed. The academic institution, colleges, secondary school, university. If you're listening to me and you are lecturing, or you have the mandate or responsibility to mentor, to teach, to lecture students, please do not take advantage of them. Sex for grade destroys the value systems of students. When students engage in sex for grades, they will translate that value system, that mindset, into other aspects of their life. When they leave the university and they're looking for job and they are offered job for sex, they will do it. When they are trying to negotiate a contract, a big business, and the owner of that business is telling them, come and sleep with me, I will give you that contract, they will sleep with him. Now, when they sow the seed of sex for grade on campus, it will begin to manifest in other areas of their life. It is only the Holy Spirit that can kill that thing if they give their life to Christ. So we have a lot of problem in our society that came out of the academic institution. If you're a lecturer, you have the mandate, you have the duty to shape the destiny of young people, male or female. Shape the destiny of young people. Now, let me tell you something again that happens when young girls, when students are in an environment of sex for grades. Sex for grades makes mockery of hard work. I just need to sleep with that man for 15 minutes. I will get 80%. So, why should I be working and I'll be reading? So, you have implanted into that girl the spirit of, I don't need hard work. That girl will transfer that mindset into other areas of her life. As far as I can find, you see, there was a girl that called one of my friends about 2 months ago. The girl needed to pay her house rent. To the greatest shock of my life, my friend told me, who is a minister, the girl attends a church. The church couldn't help her. Maybe she didn't go to the pastor or whatever, but she wasn't free enough to go to the church and ask them for assistance. So she called my friend, who appeared to be like a mentor to her, and said, sir, I need this amount of money to pay my rent. The landlord has given me an eviction notice. There is nowhere to go. She doesn't have a parent. The parents are late. All the sisters and brothers are even being sponsored by her. So there was no one to turn to. And she now gave my friend, she added a clause. He said, please, I need this amount of money. Whatever you want, including my body, I will give you. My friend called me. She said that. I said, go and look for money anywhere in the world you have and send money to that girl. And make sure you hand that girl over to a female mentor. Look for a godly female mentor around her, an elderly woman who is a godly person. Hand her over so that they can mentor her. Because if you don't give her that money, she will look for another man and she will still offer that other man the same condition. And those men will sleep with her. She was offering her body on a platter of gold. If I tell you the amount of money she was asking for, ridiculous amount of money. Ridiculous amount of money. So my friend, being a God-fearing man, a minister, was so amazed that how could, this is not something that is ugly. The girl was very attractive. Very attractive. So Satan gave my friend all the catalysts that he needed to destroy his life. Thank God that he even told me. He's a man of integrity, obviously. He wouldn't do it. But that he even told me was a mark of integrity that, can you imagine this? I have had such experience myself in the past. Sometimes people will say it to you covertly. Some will do it with a body language. Many will not say it verbally, really. Because most African ladies, I mean, even some of them that do terrible things, they are still a bit cultured. They will rather do it covertly and secretly. They won't come to you on the internet and be saying, come and sleep with me. They won't do that. Except those that have gone into full-blown prostitution. All the Nigerian girls, Ghanaian girls, Togolese girls that are going to Italy, that are going to Libya to do prostitution, where do you think some of them caught that spirit? Some of them were molested by their uncles. Some of them were molested by their stepfathers. We have had cases where stepfathers began to sleep with their stepdaughters. And the mother cannot go out and blow it up because of some of the useless African culture. Keep quiet. The culture of silence. Satanic culture. It is the same culture that will make a man to be killing the wife in the house, and they will tell the woman, don't tell anybody. You don't discuss marriage with people. I tell my wife, anytime you see me going astray, you know the people that I respect so much, call them and report me to them. If you keep quiet, my blood is on your neck. If you keep quiet, my blood is on your neck. If anything happens to you, it is your problem. I don't want people to hear about marriage, and the man is killing you in the house, and you kept quiet. And you kept quiet. And you kept quiet. There is a time to be quiet when the situation can be managed. The man has made a mistake. I'm not saying you should go on the road and be announcing your marriage and your whatever to everybody. But when you see certain signs, this thing is going to lead to death and destruction. You look for one or two people that you trust, mature, God-fearing people, and report to them before it is too late. Majority of our students that are doing prostitution in Italy, many of them caught that spirit from the molestation they experienced in secondary school. Some of them when they were young, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old, they were being molested by a lecturer, a lesson teacher, a tutor, a male tutor, a male house help. House helps are very common in Africa. A male house help will come to the house, will be sleeping with a young girl. There are so many things that people have buried under their bed. Things that cannot be shared, that people are going through. I have so many cases of people that have gone through these things that you can't even dare say it publicly. Because of the social, the norm, the dignity that they have, their respect. But if they don't deal with those issues, and they begin to nurture it, and nurture it, and nurture it, it will grow, develop wings, and it will now gravitate to the level of going to Italy. Full-blown prostitution now starts. So, sex for great is the foundation for prostitution. And how many Americans, how many Britons, how many Australians do they see in Italy doing prostitution? Of course, there are many of them doing it, but compared to the number of Africans that are doing it, by the time you find one, I'm not speaking of full-blown prostitute. Americans have prostitutes, Britons have prostitutes, there are plenty there. But I'm saying an American undergraduate doing bachelor's degree in Oxford University, in Cambridge, in Harvard, will leave Harvard and travel to Italy for prostitution and stay there. When you will have picked 1 million Africans before you pick 5 Americans. You cannot leave Harvard and leave Yale and Stanford and go to Libya for prostitution. No, you won't do that nonsense because of the society. Now, those that do it in America, they are professional prostitutes, and they do it inside America. They stay there. They have their red light zone in the US where they do, those terrible things. They are very terrible in the area as well. But what I'm saying is, young people that should be cared for, young people that should come from good background, parents are supposed to mentor and shape their children. Many a times that they want encouraging them to do these things. So when a parent engages a teacher, a male teacher, to tutor his daughter or her daughter, and sometimes the daughters want to report to the parents Brother say, don't tell anybody. I remember the story of a lady that was molested by a pastor in a particular country in North America. Very horrible story. The lady was a member of the choir in that church. So anytime the pastor was going for ministration outside of the city, he will call on that lady to follow him as his PA. The lady was a virgin. So the first day he asked the lady to follow him from a city to another city, just to follow him and be his PA. When there were a lot of men in the church, that lady went to report to her mother. The mother said, what a privilege. What a privilege. The man of God has asked you to follow him. Go. I release you. Please, collect everything. Collect his handkerchief. The lady was so shocked. Mommy, I will be sleeping there for like 3 days, 4 days. The woman said, no. The longer you stay there, the more the anointing you will get. The first day they got to that hotel where they will be lodged, the lady went to the desk and asked to be lodged in a particular room. Suddenly the pastor came to her and said, no. You are staying in my room. We can't stay in separate room. It was a different city, different state. The lady didn't know anybody there. She was so shocked. The man said, no. So the lady was still thinking, am I dreaming? The man dragged her, booked the hotel, went to the room, and finished that girl that day. He finished that girl that day. True documented story. I'm hiding the personalities there because it's a very sensitive story. The lady came back to the state where she was living and went to her mother and was weeping. Now this is where the story becomes crazy. She was crying. Mommy, I told you that this man had an agenda. The mother said, what happened? And she really told the mother what happened. The mother said, keep quiet. Nobody must hear about it. Let it be between me and you. He is a man of God. He made a mistake, but keep quiet. The lady nearly slapped her mother. She screamed at the mother, Mommy, you are killing me. You are the one that told me and encouraged me to follow this man. Now the man has committed an offense. Instead of you to encourage me to go and report him to the police, you are still here covering him up. The mother said, if you report him, you will be sinning against the anointing of God. He can cause us. The lady was so mad. The second day, the lady went back to church, resigned from the choir. She was in the choir. She resigned from all activity in the church and left the church. She got back to the house, packed her bags, and left the home. You can be sure the kind of life the lady will now start to live from that time, because she has been bruised and battered by a man that was supposed to be a mentor, a man that was supposed to be an angel, shaping her destiny, turning her over to God, directing her to the path of truth. That is one of the seed that breeds sex for grade. If that kind of a girl gets to the university and someone asks her to sleep with him to become a first-class student, will she say no? If they offer her $1 million to go to Italy and sleep with 20 men, will she say no? Because somebody has violated her will when she was very vulnerable. So when the will of a man or a woman is violated at a vulnerable state, you have sown a seed that will pursue that girl for the rest of her life. Anybody that knocks the door of her sex life, she will open the door to them. Because at a very younger age, when she was vulnerable, somebody she trusted violated her. This issue is prevalent across our universities of higher learning in Africa. Professors, PhD holders, doctors. When I was in university about 25 years ago, I was doing my first degree. 93, 94, 24 years ago. One day I was coming from a particular floor in my campus, and I overheard two lecturers chatting. One of the lecturers was a PhD holder, a doctor, who was lecturing engineering. And he was telling the fellow lecturer that, do you know that girl? The one that has this shape. She fell into my hands two times. And I slept with her. They were talking and laughing. I was talking and laughing. And I was coming. As soon as I got there, they changed the topic. And I shook my head like this. I said, God, are these the people who have committed the destinies of thousands of students? That is the reason why many African countries don't prosper, regardless of the number of prayer and fastings we commit. The Bible says righteousness exalts a nation. Sin is a reproach. God is a God of justice. Any society where there is no justice, there is constant consumption of sin and unrighteousness. Pray any prayer you can pray, nothing will happen. All the prayers many countries in Africa have been praying for the past 100 years have not made any of those countries equal to Japan or South Korea. Nations that are termed godless. Nations where they worship Buddha, where they worship all kind of God. In India, almost every home in India has an idol. And yet, majority of Indians are not Christians. So this has nothing to do with prayer alone. Prayer is very good as a role, but a conscious effort by the government of a nation to create systems, institutions that will tackle this menace. Lecturers sleeping with students. They will make the law so firm that if you are caught, number one, your career is over. You cannot lecture again. In the UK, they have a register. A register. I forgot the name. When you molest a girl sexually, I forgot the name, or a lady. When the sex offenders list, offenders list, when your name enters that register, you are finished. You cannot apply for job. You cannot get loan in the bank. You are finished. They know it that it is not that the Western world, they are good people. Every human being has the nature of sin. Americans are bad. Canadians are bad. There is nobody that is good without Christ. But they know that the only way to catch people is to create systems and structure. You can be doing it and be doing it the day they get you, including their prime minister. You are gone. It was one vote that bailed out Bill Clinton. One vote. They were at the brink of impeaching him because of Monica Lewinsky case. So it had nothing to do with your name or your caliber or your career. Once they catch you, you are gone. That sex offenders list, if your name enters it, why can't they create a sex offenders list in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Togo? And students can go and report lecturers. You know that when your name enters, you can never lecture again for life. You are finished. If you change school, go to another school, they just assess your name. If you change your name, because they won't just take your name, they will take your fingerprint, take everything. Your DNA is there. So change your name 1 million times. Before you get a job in any school, they will ask you to fingerprint. Once you fingerprint, your fingerprint will match the one in the sex offenders register. And you are gone. They can't employ you. If you try that kind of law in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Togo or in Cameroon, for 1 year, it will sanitize our colleges and universities. But because we have very weak leaders, selfish and weak leaders in Africa, they themselves are guilty of this thing. They are doing it. So how will they create laws to catch themselves? That is why it is very good that we have the power of our vote. So that we look for people that we can trust, at least to a level. Leaders that have the fear of God, who will make righteous laws. And they themselves, if they fail to comply with those laws, they will release themselves to be disciplined. The law should not fear anybody. Nobody should be above the law. Sex for grade is a monster. I have had all kind of horrible stories. If I have had cases where 7 lecturers will put a girl and they'll be exchanging her one after the other. If she goes ahead to report to a lecturer, the lecturer will give her appointment to come and discuss the matter and sleep with her. If she goes to report to the head of the department, I've had all kinds, and not in one occasion has any lecturer been jailed that I know of in my own country. That this man, Professor James, was jailed. They will bury the case, and the case will die a natural death. That is why it is forever impossible for one university in Ghana or in Nigeria to grow above Harvard or Oxford or Yale. They don't just measure academic excellence, that somebody is brilliant. They measure character. They have all kind of indices they use to measure great institutions. The rule of law. They look at all kind of parameters. So it's not like, oh, we are brilliant in Nigeria. We are good in Ghana. We made first class. We have 100 first class from University of Accra. We have 100 first class. Those things don't matter. You can have your brain full of books and your mind is empty of values and character. That is when a student finishes school, they will put something on a certificate. It has demonstrated academic competence and character. Character. These are the things that are destroying the fabric of the African society. So if you find yourself in a position of trust to mentor a student, to teach a young girl, don't molest her and sleep with her. How many minutes or hours is the enjoyment? 15, 20 minutes. The consequences of that 15 minutes can pursue you for the rest of your life. That is the way I think. What is the value of 15, 20 minutes of enjoyment? You will sow that seed in your own life. Somebody somewhere will arrest your own daughter and do it to them. If your daughter doesn't fall prey of it, you can catch disease. If you don't catch disease, you can fall prey of marine spirits or whatever, all kind of things that are common that make people vulnerable to unguided sexual escapades. The only authorized sexual enjoyment is between husband and wife. When a society permits sex for grades, it makes mockery of hard work and self-worth. Finally, sex for grades breeds institutional prostitution. Now, mark those words. I said institutional prostitution. Now, there is local prostitution. When you say institutional, it means it will raise a new breed of young people who will see prostitution as work, and they will be proud to tell about it and speak about it publicly. Are we not seeing that in our society in Africa now? When they will be showing prostitutes on the TV and they will telling you, yes, we want our own right too. Many of them have been molested in their schools by teachers, by lecturers, by professors, and they have now become a full-blown prostitute. Full-blown prostitutes. Now we are looking at the myriads of Africans in Italy now, disgracing African society. Constituency 26 Nigerians were drowned on the coast of Italy. Many of them are going to Italy to do what? Prostitution. Where are they today now? Heaven or hell? I don't want to go into preaching now because I'm speaking about something very serious on the secular level. And before the end of the year, I'm going to do some series which will be raw spiritual teaching. And I want to inspire and motivate you this evening if you're listening to me, because I'm rounding up now. If you are a lady, because I have said it when I started, sometimes the lecturers are at fault. Majority of whom are men. They deliberately look for opportunity to sleep with a girl using sex for grade as a weapon. Sometimes the girls are responsible. Now we have had cases where the girls were actually who were looking for the man. Looking for the man. When my dad was working as a lecturer many years back, all of his friends in the school that time, they were all doing it. So as a very young boy, my dad will come home and tell us during our prayer time that we should thank God for his life. That students, girls are coming to him because he was an accountant, he was very good in accounting. So he was teaching and lecturing accounting. And accounting is a very difficult course. So most of those girls, they don't want to work. So they will come to my dad and ask him covertly to sleep with them in exchange for marks. And my dad did what I do today. I will rather give you mark free than sleeping with you. So my dad was giving them free mark. Not free as in giving them 20%. You will look at their effort in class. Okay, you attended class very well. Okay, that's good. Your score now is 39. You need 2 marks to pass. Okay, I'll give you 2 marks. I will just create a kind of a framework and mark attendance. I'll give you 2 marks. For 2 marks, these guys will come to my dad in the office and almost strip themselves naked. And my dad will jump out of the office. The friends will be laughing at him. They were mocking him and laughing at him. This man, you are literate. This is cheap food coming to you. If my dad had fallen for those girls those days, I won't be here today. I will not be here today because it would have destroyed our family that time. So one girl came one day. That girl had been failing her course, second time, first time, second time, and came to my dad. She was ready to do anything. My dad said, no, how many marks do you need now? At least you have done it twice, you failed. I'll give you 2 marks or 3 marks or 5 marks. My dad gave him 5 marks. I'm speaking of 1983, 84 or something. I can't remember. More than 30 years ago. This girl said, I have I've never seen a man like you in my life. For the next 1 year, I will be bringing food that you will eat for a whole month to your house. You know what that girl did? The girl was living in a particular city. When it is the 29th of the month, she will go to a food store and buy all kinds of food in bags and bring them to our house and put money on top of it. That was the vow she made to God. This man had every opportunity to sleep with her and did not do it. My dad, he got to a point, my dad said, don't worry again, don't bring anything. The girl said, no, I will bring it. The girl rose up to become an accountant in a company, got married to a man. The man respects my dad till tomorrow. I'm not saying my dad is a perfect man. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying in our own little way of contributing to the sanity of our society. Sex for grade is a killer. It kills initiative. It destroys academic excellence. It makes students to have a feeling of nothingness. It destroys their self-esteem. It can even create an avenue for cultism. So many cultic activities on campuses that are engineered by sex for grade. And the guys will say, so this man slept with my girlfriend, we'll deal with him. And they'll go and attack the man and kill him. Whatever. There is nothing fruitful in ruining the destiny of other people. If you have been given a position of trust, it may not even be a university, it might be an academic tutor. You come to somebody's house, a lady's house, even if she's throwing advances at you, it is not a ground to take advantage of our advances. Good leaders don't do that. Good leaders don't do that. Because everybody is evil, I will be evil. No, that is bad leadership. A leader will stand out of the crowd. One good leader out of 1 million bad people can make a good nation. One good leader, one man can stand up out of 1 million bad people and make a difference. I have said this many times. One tree does not make a forest. It doesn't apply to leadership. 1 million bad people plus one good leader can become 1 million good people. Leadership is a very strong thing. Some people are bad because they haven't found a man that will channel them to the right thing. So when they get a good leader who stands up and speaks to them and tell them, stop what you are doing, they will change. So in leadership, you don't give excuses that because other people are doing what is bad, then I don't have choice. I'm under pressure. I'm going to do the same thing. No, you're a bad leader. These issues are not discussed. I don't even hear it on the radio or TVs of many African countries. I live in South Africa. I school there. I work there. I minister there. Nigeria and a few other. I don't hear any of them talking about it. It's not an issue. It's like a normal part of society. It's not normal. It's abnormal because it's killing the future of our children. In conclusion this evening, if you know anybody who is engaged in this practice, please speak to them to desist. If you are engaging in it, please stop. If you will engage in it, there are people who are planning. I know people who plan to go and sin. I met some people in South Africa who will be planning to go and sleep with a woman. No people, some people don't plan it, it just happens. Some will be planning on Thursday. We are going to go to that place and go and get that girl. And I saw a lot of, I won't mention the name of the country. And I will be screaming to them, you are dead already. You are dead already. If I begin to tell you what happens to each of them, they are engaged in that practice. What happened to them? Oh my God. If I begin to tell you what happened to them, you will be, some will lose their jobs, lose their houses, their finances crashing, all kind of things going to happen. Because sex is not just a physical experience, it's a spiritual experience, it's a covenant. It's a covenant. I was doing something last week on soul tie. When you sleep with multiple partners, you are fragmenting your soul. You are breaking your soul apart. The soul of a man is the realm of the mind, the will, and the emotion. So when you sleep with Janet, sleep with Charlie, sleep with Mary, and you distribute your soul. You distribute your soul into multiple functions. You are not collected together. You are scattered into different directions. You are scattering your ability to be creative, to be innovative. The realm of the soul is the strongest part of human life. The realm of the soul, because your soul is the gateway to your life. If a man is mad, he can't give his life to Christ. If a man is insane, he can't read the Bible, he cannot pray, he can't do anything. Your soul is the gateway to your life. So if anything tampers with your soul, it has tampered with your life. So when you sleep with Janet, with Mary, with Sally, you have distributed your soul in multiple parts, and you can never achieve the fullness of your destiny. You cannot, except you repent and stop it. So I'm concluding tonight. Tomorrow is another day, day 15 of our value system change agenda. Africans are not bad people. There are good people in Africa. There are great lecturers who mentor people. I have been a lecturer myself. I've lectured in 2 British institutions before. I have had to mentor young ladies, to mentor bachelor's degree students. They have come to me for assistance. By the grace of God, I have never molested or abused anybody in my life. In my life. Not even in school. In my life. Taking advantage of anybody. I have never. To the glory of God alone. And I'm trusting God for grace to help me to finish well, because it's not by my power, by my might. It's just by His grace. And if anybody has done that before, it doesn't make you inferior to me. I'm not superior to you. Just stop it and repent, and God will forgive and forget. And we straighten our life and move up. There's no one that can beat his chest and say he's a better person. Nobody is better. It's just by grace. Every one of us is capable of any sin, given the right environment. Anybody that tells you I can never commit sin is a liar. Given the right environment, everyone is capable of anything. Anything is possible. I can commit any sin, if not for the grace of God in my life. So please join me tomorrow again. It's going to be the same time, at least for the next 1 week. And then I switch again to, on Saturday and Sunday, to be 1 p.m. My time here, and 6 and 7 p.m. UK and West African time. We're going to deal with a very sensitive issue. These issues are always swept under the carpets. And I trust God that we're going to learn from this next topic that we're going to do this weekend. Thank you so much. Please help me share this seminar on your timeline. Help me share it for many people to benefit from it. Thank you so much. I love you all. Have a great night. Have a great day. God bless you.